course. And yeah. So yeah, so this is kind of a general introduction to the data science and AI landscape. And we just want to keep it, something, it should not be too shallow that people feel that we have they did not learn much. And it should not be too deep that because everybody is going to be a beginner in this session. Probably everybody is a beginner. So we'll try to keep it lightweighted. Cool. So, okay, there is a noise. Okay. Is there a noise from my side? All right. Can we start? Sham, do you want to start? I will unshare. So there's Sham from my side, there's Shravani from my side, and there's Professor Manhas, there's Professor Tharun, and Professor Raksha will be joining soon. And there are quite a few, around 78 people here. And there are more people on the streaming on YouTube as well, because it's an open session and introductory session for it. All right. Sham, you want to start? You have.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Sandeep. And thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And good evening to everyone. So my name is Sham. I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer of CloudxLab. So we are really super excited to start this new batch, the latest batch. And then we got tons of so many students, and then so many people who are interested in going for this free masterclass. And also basically this is going to be more like an orientation, and which gives complete overview of how the landscape of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these things are going in terms of the career perspective. That's why we are calling it how to build your career in data science and AI, machine learning in 2023. And then we all hope everybody will benefit from this session. And then we are looking forward to all your insights and all your valuable inputs for each one of our attendees here. And then we got many people who have already enrolled so far. And then we are actually we still have these things open for any others to join, to enroll. And then we got a lot of this scholarship test and other things still going on. So we will share all that information. And then basically it's going to be full-fledged session starting from next Saturday onwards. So this is basically the orientation session. And then we got most of our instructors here. And then feel free to ask anybody any questions, and feel free to share all your any of your questions, comments, or any of these things. And then just to get started, I just thought we have a small fun trivia quiz. So maybe if you allow me, I can just share that. And then just 5 minutes while others will join. So let me share my screen.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah. All right, 1 second. Just wanted to, okay, just a second. I'm just sharing my presentation. Yeah.
You can unshare and figure out the window.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right. Can you see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes. Yes, I can see this.
All right, base. Thanks. Okay. I'm just not sure how I. Okay. All right, great. Okay, so basically, this is a small fun trivia quiz. I'm sure you can answer almost all questions. So this is just a quote, like how we are using our smartphones. In a few years, I think it's going to be artificial intelligence virtual assistants will be as common as the smartphone, as quoted by Dave Waters, and I'm sure it's going to be the true. It's going to be really, really true, and all that. And then this is one of the quotes generated by ChatGPT, and then it is kind of very unique and very interesting. And then there are some instances where the AI has gone terribly wrong. Like for example, this quote was generated by ChatGPT, and then it doesn't make any sense at all. So just like just to make sure that it's not 100% this thing perfect. Yeah. And then another quote which arguably gone wrong, which says like I mean, it's up to you how you take it. Yeah. So these are some of the just like okay, now let's start this quiz, and then there are about 8 to 10 questions. You can answer those questions in the chart with this thing section. Okay, what's the name of the AI-powered computer that defeated the world chess champion Garry Kasparov in 1997? You can respond in the chart. This thing you can mention your answer in the chart window. All right. Okay, the next one. What's the name of the popular open source machine learning framework developed by Google? I'm sure pretty easy actually. Okay, I'll give some time before others, before people respond. Maybe I'm going too fast. Okay. It's pretty easy, and it's part of the course curriculum as well, if you recall.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question.
Do you want to tell the answer or you'll tell later?
I'll tell later. Let people respond.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe during the break or so.
Okay.
Okay. What's the name of the first AI-powered virtual assistant developed by Apple? This is damn easy. I'm sure everybody can answer this, and it's a very unique Indian name, which is which is a synonym for gold.
Okay.
It's a big hint, I guess.
I see. Okay. Okay.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Again, super easy. What's this called, and which company is behind this technology? It's basically self-driving technology powered by AI and machine learning. Okay. I'm sure everybody knows this.
Nan, okay, let's see. So far, nobody's able to guess. It's
okay.
Yes, yes. You can see that logo down on the car.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you can zoom it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. Finally, Umesh is able to guess. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Let's go to the.
This is most undermined car, by the way.
Probably, it looks pretty similar to Tata Nano.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best inventions in the self-driving one. And this is the only one that has got really, really good proven data records. Yeah.
Understand. Okay, there are so many responses pouring in. Great.
Yeah, great.
All right. Okay. All right. Can you identify this person? He is in the news big time of late.
Okay.
Okay, let's give some 10 seconds time for people.
Okay.
This guy is behind some of the greatest technologies and disrupting technologies. I can give you a hint. This is the guy who is behind this great technology called ChatGPT, DALL-E, OpenAI, and all.
Yeah.
All right. You may even Google, or you may even ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. Rajiv got it. Okay.
Okay, and then yeah. So last one maybe. Which computer scientist and philosopher proposed the Turing test for determining a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable from that of a human?
Yeah.
Actually, the answer is there in the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
All
Great.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Probably one more. Last one.
Okay.
What's the name of the AI technology that enables a machine to understand and interpret human language? And again, this is part of the curriculum.
The name of AI technology that enables. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Very good. Wonderful. Cool.
Okay. Shall I give the answers, or do you want
No,
me?
I think they we will send it in the slides.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. That's all. That's small
Yeah.
fun trivia quiz. Okay. There's one more. Last one.
Okay.
Machines that try to imitate human intuition while handling vague information, like in the field of AI, called. What is it called? It's a little tricky, and I can give you a hint. There is a logic in this answer. Okay. So yeah. All right. Feel free to guess the answers and then mention your answers in the chat. This thing, and that's all. Small quiz. With this, let's get started. Over to you, Professor Manhas, Professor Tharun, Professor Raksha, and Sandeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sham. Thank you for a very lively quiz.
All right,
I
great.
hope this
Thank
was
you.
useful for people. This is definitely. I think the last one you can give an answer. People are asking for it. I think.
Okay, so the last one is called fuzzy logic. Correct me if I am wrong.
Okay, I was thinking interpretable AI.
Okay. All right.
Fuzzy logic is no longer used in most of these. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I just found it too, very trending. All right. Thank you so much, and over to you, Sandeep and professors.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, somebody, some bot or something had put a message, advertising message on the chat. Just don't click on that. Some Jane, I'm not able to delete that message. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
So, yeah, somebody raised the hand also.
I think, yeah, this was raised long
that's
back.
not relevant.
That was long back. So, Smriti, you had something else to talk? You are anyway unmuted. So, if you have. So.
No, Sandeep, not anything so far.
All right. All right. Cool. Cool. Wonderful. Very good audience and very good starting by Sham. That definitely woke everyone up. All right. So this is the agenda. So there will be an introduction to mentors about IIT Roorkee, AICT, CloudxLab, and then brief overview of the programs. And then we will have like an introduction to data science, machine learning, and AI. And then we'll talk about applications, a brief introduction to ChatGPT, and a typical workflow. For everyone, just to keep everybody on the same page, we started, right? I want to tell you before we start. So there are a couple of topics we are dropping from the course and we are adding new one because of the changing AI landscape. So we will probably drop the recurrent neural network from the course. And then instead of having natural language processing with NLP, with the recurrent neural network, we will have the with transformers. Okay, so because transformers have shown very good results as compared to the recurrent neural network in the deep learning section of the course, we are going to replace it because after the success of ChatGPT and couple of more systems in recent past, I think most of the underlying AI is all about transformers and attention. So we are going to remove quite a few topics which were valid till December and are no longer valid now. So as part of the curriculum, we continuously improve and evolve. every month and every 6 months, most likely. Okay, with that, I want to start the session just to keep everybody updated. That's the reason we have included ChatGPT in this, because this is a revolution. This is a revolution. You will see more about it in the session. Okay, so this is a 2-hour session with 10 minutes break. Except for speaker, everybody is on mute. And if you have any question, just put it in the QA window, question answer window. And if you are watching it on YouTube, put it in the comment section. My team will pick it and post it here. And the recordings and slides for this will be shared with everyone. So do not panic. But if you want to take a screenshot or you're writing a blog, feel free to take the screenshot or of things. And video will be anyway available to everyone, so nothing to panic. But that doesn't mean that you don't pay attention to the class. Okay, your intention should be to ask questions. All right. Okay, there's a question about difference between DSA, data science, and data analytics. We'll talk about it towards the end. All right, it's a good question. Great, great. So these are the faculty members. So about myself, I'm Sandeep Giri. I right now head AI and engineering for a company called DevRev, and I'm the founder for CloudxLab. And previously, I founded Tbits. And in past, I worked with Amazon and Mobi and DeShow, and I'm 2002 pass out from IIT Roorkee. My personal passion is teaching, as well as software and machine learning. And yeah. And then we have Professor Raksha. Professor Raksha is a professor in computer science department. Her specialization is in natural language processing. And as you will see in the sessions as well, she's very passionate about the machine learning field in general. And she's a very hands-on professor. And we have Professor Tharun, who is a faculty in ECE department. And he is also, his core area of research is also machine learning, specifically into the medical devices. And then we have Professor Sanjeev Manhas. Professor Sanjeev Manhas is the principal invigilator in ICT Academy, as well as he heads the CEC, continuing education. And he's a professor in electronics and control theory, not control theory. He's into the large scale, what do you call, VLSI design. Over to you, Professor Manhas. You want to, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Shyam, and thank you, Sandeep. And also, let me first of all welcome all the participants of this masterclass. And as Sandeep mentioned, I had this program called Electronics and ICT Academy at IIT Roorkee. And this was an initiative which was initially supported by MITI, which is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Seeing the gap that was there sometime in 2015, 2014, that there is a skilling gap in terms of what really is happening or demand of industry versus what is being actually sometimes taught in engineering colleges. So we started off running this program to actually, first of all, train the faculty members of engineering institutions in latest and emerging technologies with very broad scope in electronics and ICT. So we have been doing that programs for a while, and we have actually benefited something like 10,000, close to 10,000 what you call faculty members of institutions and research scholars and so on.
Yeah. And
now we have also actually stepped on to a different mode of conducting programs by working with the tech partner and all that. So I will come to that later. So briefly about myself, I am currently professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. I have done my master's from IIT Madras, I work actually in areas of circuits devices. And one of the area which somewhat overlaps with machine learning, particularly, is the hardware technology using novel computer architecture, particularly memory devices, in implementing efficient what do you call machine learning algorithms or machine learning sort of programs. So I work in area of what is called in-memory computing. Okay, but that is more towards hardcore research side. Uh, but I also heading this program have lot of interest and sort of also do a little bit of machine learning using IoT and other hardware type of devices. Next slide.
Before I move forward, I want to have a brief introduction of Professor Tharun and Raksha.
Yeah, please.
So, yeah, Professor Tharun, you can go ahead. It'll be great to know you. I briefly introduced at that point of time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep and Professor Manas. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
So I am Dr. Tharun from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. I'm currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at IIT Roorkee. So I have done my bachelor's from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and my master's and PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. My area of research is primarily in the area of machine learning with medical applications. I work on several signal processing problems where we can make some valuable insights or derive some valuable insights from applying machine learning. So prior to my work at IIT Roorkee, I have worked with SI Brain Forensics company in Boston, Brainwave Science. So where I have applied machine learning to develop forensic applications, which is useful for border protection agencies. So this is my brief intro. Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you, Professor. And yeah, over to you, Professor Raksha. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandeep. Hello, everyone. I'm Raksha Sharma from Computer Science Department of IIT Roorkee. I joined the Computer Science Department here in 2019, in January 2019. And I have done my PhD from IIT Bombay in 2017. And for some period, like 1.5 years, I worked for Tata Research Center, Pune. My area of specialization is natural language processing, machine learning, and applications of machine learning and NLP in other domains like health sector or energy sector. So, yeah, so I have been working on many projects where we are applying NLP and machine learning. The more details about my projects and the courses which I have taught can be obtained from my web page. Yeah, so that's all about me.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Wonderful. So I think so. This is right. Like given the background of professors, and right. So I can assure everyone that you are in very much safe hands. And since this course that we are running is fairly advanced, so that's why we have experts from like core domains of the AI and machine learning, right? Professor Manhas, would you like to tell about IIT?
We'll continue. So just very briefly about IIT Roorkee. So IIT Roorkee is among the top IITs in India, and we are, I think, ranked 6th or 7th. I think 6th. And this also happened to be oldest engineering institutions in Asia because it was founded by Britishers in 1847. And that time it was civil heavy, like if somebody is from North India, you will know there's a very detailed waterworks which was designed and now still is under operation on Ganga waterworks, with canal and all that. So actually, it happened in Roorkee itself.
No, yeah,
But
North India is green because of the canal that was built by IIT Roorkee.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So and then post independence, it was University of Roorkee, but then we got turned into IIT Roorkee in year 2000, and
Yeah.
so at present, this is a very like a diverse institute having almost all areas of science and engineering, including biosciences, and we have almost, I think there are 20 plus or 22 departments offering almost either B.Tech or combination of B.Tech or M.Tech degrees. And there are also like students from all over the world. Like we have more than 50 countries, which actually uh, will have students here, and they do either full time or short term or exchange program and so on. Next slide. Yeah, so this is some of the recent sort of parameters, or what do you call, highlights of IIT Roorkee, and we continuously rank quite high among QS and other rankings, particularly QS ranking is something that we also look forward to, or we apply and actively seek. So one of the important ranking that we have actually managed to hit on the top 10 particularly is citation of the journals by IIT faculty. So we are actually in 2021 we were actually number one. So which means that the journals that IIT professor wrote among IITs in India, we were the first in terms of citation. Citation is something that matters. If you write a paper, if
Okay.
nobody reads or cites your paper, actually that does not show that much of value. And also we are actually among 1 to 20 in the universities worldwide as citation per faculty. And we are overall 9th in NRF ranking. NRF is the Government of India's own ranking mechanism.
Okay.
And we have been actually very sort of like we have done pretty well, and we have improved our overall ranking and kind of standing both nationally and internationally. Next, please. Yeah, so Electronics and ICT Academy is part of IIT Roorkee. This is an initiative which is running as a what we call as actually a large national initiative, because it was originally funded by Government of India. But we are a part of IIT Roorkee as a program, and the professors who we work with are IIT Roorkee professors, or sometimes we also involve professors from other similar institutes, particularly IITs and other IITs and ISCs, and also some international universities sometimes, depending on what program we do. Because as I told you that we have been doing programs on also to develop the skill and also upgrade the knowledge and curriculum of engineering colleges in terms of faculty development programs. So a lot of work was done in that space. And then in this particular initiative, we have started seeing the gap, because what we always, you see that it is always, the technology is always evolving, and particularly with the changes and the progress that has been made in mobile telephones, or what you call as mobile technologies, or 5G and other latest areas. You see that the technology cycle and the technology changes very fast. Every 5 years or every 3 years you have to cope up with something new. So there's always a gap what between, like, what is available out there in market in terms of learning material and what is in demand. So we
Right.
have come up with this program working with some of the uh, edtech companies that are out there, by partnering with them to ensure that we develop a program which is of relevance to industry, which is something which is required by industry, and which has very nice blend or mix of material delivered by professors at IIT Roorkee along with their TAs and hands-on and so on. But at the same time, some expertise is being provided or through industry partner or through the edtech partner, and then they take care of something which is more sort of hands-on in terms of what is relevant and what is required by industry. Because we do feel at academic institutions also that a lot of research and innovation and new technologies are being actually done at industries, and then working with industries or trying to bring into industry angle and industry insight, make the program relevant for industry, to make sure that by end of this program you would have a transformative learning which will take you to the next orbit or next level, and you will be able to seek better opportunities for yourself, either in terms of jobs, or if you're looking to sort of go into a more advanced area in that particular field or this particular course, for example, then you surely will be able to take up some more advanced level of learning in this area. So this is our hope, and we have put a lot of effort in devising the program, and there's a very great support both from our professors here, and we are here to look into make sure the program runs well all the time, and we're looking at all the feedback and any comments, and address this in time. And also there's also very sort of well organized mechanism of support and everything, every other issue addresser, etc., by CloudxLab. So if there is any problem anytime, please feel free to either write mail to us or connect with professors or even write to CloudxLab. In fact, our primary interface of interaction and taking care of your user query and or LMS and any other issues actually is CloudxLab. So any issue, please, if you have face issue, please also feel free to contact EICT Academy.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving an introduction. So I just will take like 2 minutes to introduce, not even 2 minutes, like 1.5 minutes to introduce what is CloudxLab. So the core idea is to upskill engineers and IT professionals, and that's something I personally started with. Most of the people who have joined, so like there have been around 200,000 users who have learned at CloudxLab globally, and we are a lab environment oriented company. Hands-on comes first for us, and that's why the name is CloudxLab. And I mean this because I have been into industry doing engineering, like at Amazon, at InMobi, and now at DevRev. So I understand that if you are not hands-on, right, and you do not have the right fundamentals of science, it's not going to help. That's why you, like, when you're studying at CloudxLab, you get best of both worlds. You get the great theoretical foundations from professors of IIT, and then you get the good learning environment, and that's what we stand for. And so as you must have, those who have enrolled, you must have seen that there is lots of playground oriented exercises. There is a notebook on the right hand side, there is a problem statement on the left hand side, and when you submit an answer, it gives you a go ahead. Because what we found is that lots of engineers are very hands-on learners. They want to quickly get a feedback, and then they right, because of which we have designed almost all the exercises in the LMS, whereby you get immediate feedback on your work. Similarly, if you are more of a lot of tinkerer, like we call it tinkerer in the sense that you tinker around with the tech. So we give you the entire environment with machine learning, deep learning, DevOps, data science, data engineering. All of those tools are available as part of the lab, and it's free for all of you. So feel free to do the hands-on, feel free to tinker around. Otherwise, don't worry at any point of time. Don't worry that if your environment get messed up, what will happen, right? I mean, we will reset that environment, okay? But most important part is to keep your curiosity up, keep your hands-on energy up, okay? Along with the theory, along with the concept, you must start doing hands-on. That's why there are lots of exercises, like whatever you see here and there on Python or any of these technology, almost everything can be done at CloudxLab. So no matter where you study, no matter what blog you follow, you can do hands-on at CloudxLab. Almost all the tools are available. And this is something that is not there with anyone, I can guarantee that big data, along with the deep learning, machine learning, the learning environment for both is not available with anybody. And that's something that's important because I think most of the people who provide this kind of lab, they take our subscription. Okay, now coming back to it, so this is an online lab. This is how real industry works. Okay, in real industry, whether you join Amazon, whether you join anybody, you will get a environment whereby, or environment on the cloud, whereby you will have all the tools installed and you will have to start tinkering around the data set or start pushing the data. On top of it, there's a forum, there is the LMS, which shows you like comments from each other, and you can learn with the peers even in the website. You will find lots and lots of comments. Then there is a dedicated job portal where we have jobs. We keep on listing jobs. Similarly, we have the exams. We conduct the placement eligibility test. And in the placement eligibility test, if you qualify, we keep on connecting you to various companies. And yeah, so now, so this is executive PG certificate program by ICT Academy. And it is essentially, Professor Raksha, you want to take it up from here, or should I take it?
Yeah, Sandeep, so I can take the data science part. So,
Okay.
So this, the title of this course is Executive PG Certificate Program in Data Science and AI, and it will be under EICT Academy, IIT Roorkee, along with CloudxLab. And here are a few key highlights of the courses. It will be 8 months training program, and it will be having many projects, more than 18 projects. And so you will be having 240 days access to the CloudxLab portal. So all the content of the course, including the programming platform, all things will be available on the CloudxLab web page, and you will be having access for it for 240 days. And there will be immersion program as part of this executive PG certificate program. And so you will be visiting IIT Roorkee for a few days, and we will be interacting over the projects or many other things. And yes, Sandeep, you want to say something?
Yeah. So there will be an, I keep on forgetting that there will be an immersion program at IIT Roorkee then. Okay. In addition to that, I want to say that the whole environment I talked about, where all the tools are installed, they will be available for you for 24/7 for 240 days. That's all I wanted to add.
Okay. So yeah, so all the points which are mentioned here, that is about the course content, and you will be having lifetime access to course materials. And yeah, and a few scholarships Sandeep has already mentioned initially, and you can get more details from the CloudxLab. So yeah, Sandeep, can you please change the slide? So we are starting with, because data science is a very big domain, and many companies, many industry along with academia are working on data science. So what is data science? Although data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, it is hard to differentiate between these three. And in fact, we should not differentiate. We should try to find the connection among them. Okay, so I'm starting with data science. It is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems. So let us start with the objective of the data science. The objective of the data science is to obtain knowledge or extract knowledge and insight from the structured or unstructured data. Since we are very rich in data because of enormous growth in the field of World Wide Web, we are having a lot of data available. It can be structured data. By structured data, I mean the data which is available in tabular format, very well defined structure is there, or it can be unstructured data, like the image which we are having some keywords randomly arranged. So we are having both types of data, and extracting information or knowledge from this kind of data is data science. Now we can apply algorithms or methods from statistics, from machine learning, or from some other scientific field also, whichever is helping us to extract information. So data science is not limited to machine learning, although machine learning algorithms are contributing like 80% up to 80% solution, but it is not the complete solution to perform data science. Even if you are applying like chi-square test or from statistics, or t-test from statistics, and you are able to extract information, that is also data science. So objective should be extract information from the available data, that is data science. Sandeep, can you please change the slide? Yeah, so this diagram is presenting the data science. So data science comprises techniques from mathematics. It can be methods from mathematics. It can be techniques from computer science. And besides this, it requires domain knowledge also. So data science, you can perform in healthcare data, you can perform on agriculture data. So we can extract information from all types of data, and fortunately data is available with us. Though performing data science on unstructured data is more difficult than applying techniques over structured data, and which I think is obvious for us to get this idea that if we are having a structured data, half of the job is done for us. It is already structured, so we have to apply some algorithm and we will be able to obtain insight. Okay, so we should have domain knowledge also. If we are applying data science in agriculture data, we need to get background in agriculture. Okay, although it is not mandatory to have a specialization or to have degree in particular domain, but little bit domain knowledge will be required if we want perfection in our output. If we want to take our output up to certain standard, we need domain knowledge. Then information science. So information science is another field which we can combine with machine learning. So it is having algorithms through which we can extract information. So data science comprises methods from all mathematics, computer science, statistics, information science, and domain knowledge. And then we are able to extract information from our data. Okay, so there is a link available on this slide. So you can check this link, data science specialization. Yeah, please change the slide. Yeah, so machine learning, as I told you that it is full of algorithms. Machine learning is a set of techniques which can be applied to perform data science. Okay, and so machine learning itself is not useful, but it is a set of techniques which can be applied to perform data science or to perform artificial intelligence, or it can have other utility also. So machine learning provides up to 80% solution or techniques to perform data science. Many problem statements of artificial intelligence can be solved by machine learning. Major part of our PG certificate program will be machine learning. So the definition of machine learning, as the name suggests, we are making machine to learn itself. Okay. So what is the need to make machine to learn itself? Because there are problem statements for which we don't have algorithm, fixed set of rules. For example, if I want a computer to win the chess game, okay, so as a human being, we learn to win the chess game with our experiences. Initially, like when we were very young, when we were kids, we didn't know, we just knew the rules to play the game, but we didn't know how to win it. Okay, but with our experiences, we learned by playing the game many times, we learned how to win the game, which move will take us to the victory. Okay, similar kind of, because we didn't have any fixed algorithm. Our parents or our guide were not able to tell us, you play this way and you will win the game. There is no such a strategy. Okay, so games are one such examples where machine learning is very suitable. Besides this, many real world problems like object identification or text classification, many real life problem statements which are useful for the society, which are making our society like smart society. Those problem statements we are solving using machine learning because we don't have fixed program. On the other hand, if we take examples like finding factorial of a number or finding Fibonacci series up to a number, we know the logic. Okay, if I tell you to write the code, you know the logic. You don't need machine to learn itself how to find out factorial of a number, because we know the formula. We will program that formula and we will get the output. So wherever we are having fixed algorithm, wherever we are having logic, we don't need machine learning. But the real life problem statements do not have any fixed logic. There we need machine learning. Okay, so this is the definition given by Arthur Samuel in 1959. This is the field of the study that gives computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Okay, so we don't know what is the logic, but we will make our machine to learn the program. Okay, machine will learn the code itself. Okay, and the good thing about this learning process is that or the biggest source behind this learning process is that the data. We are having enough amount of data to make machine to learn itself. The way we are learning how to win chess game by playing 1,000 times, we became master of winning any particular game. You can take example of any game in which you have gained expertise, like playing cards or playing chess or playing any video game. Okay, so the way we collected data with our life experiences, similarly we are having data available to make machine to learn itself. Yeah, can you please change the slide? So let us understand this with the game of Mario. Many of you might have played Mario. So here again, we don't have any fixed algorithm how to make move to win the game. Okay, so how much time did it take you to learn and win the princess? Okay, so program learns to play Mario by playing it many times. Okay, so every time when we press the key, we observe the game and we maximize the score. If there is like our move is leading to failure, we won't consider that move. In fact, we will assign negative score. Okay, and our objective is to maximize the score. Okay, which is leading us to win the game. So this is this way machine learns by playing many times and observing which moves are taking the machine to the winning position. Okay, so yeah, so there is a video which is showing the working of the game. Okay, so currently there is random key pressing happening, and yeah, so it is showing the learning process, how the game is making the progress. So on day one, performance was different. On day two, performance is different. And with time, there will be improvement in the performance. Yeah, it is taking few more weeks. Yeah, so it has become very smooth. Like now, it is not facing any problem, and it has become expert by playing the game again and again with time. Those who are aware of this game, those who have played, they will be able to connect more. But if you are not familiar with Mario, you can take example of any game, be it playing cards or playing chess or playing carom board, any game. All games follow this concept that with time, with experience, you learn your algorithm yourself. And in the same manner, we want machine to do it. And machine, we have already programmed to play many games against the human being. All are artificial intelligent or machine learning based games. Yeah. So AI is, we have talked about data science. Data science uses techniques of machine learning. Now let us come to AI. So as I told you, we should not try to differentiate these three because they are not very different from each other. They are helping, they are supporting each other, and we can say they are sub part of each other also. Not fully, but majority of the, for example, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the biggest umbrella of techniques to make machine or to embed intelligence in the machine. Okay, or to obtain artificial intelligence. AI is the biggest umbrella. AI has many courses inside it. If you have gone through the book of AI, it is very vast syllabus. So machine learning is one such course under AI where we are having algorithms, which is a set of algorithms to implement intelligence in the artificial devices. Okay, so ML is part of artificial intelligence, and data science is again a different course which is using machine learning techniques. So data science can also be considered as part of AI. Okay. So AI, as I told you that AI is a very big umbrella, but few different types of problem statements which AI tries to address. The first one is with which we are familiar. The second, perception. Okay, finding something which is not visible to us. Okay, for example, classification or predicting something, and knowledge representation. Okay, if we are having data set available, what are the connection among the objects or so for example, let us take example of text data. So what are how the words are connected to each other, which word is dependent on which other word. So we are trying to represent knowledge which is not directly visible in the data. That is also part of AI. Reasoning, finding the logics behind something, some process. Okay, so these are like again very big areas of study. Individual areas of studies, you might find it as individual courses in your undergrad syllabus or in many IIT syllabus. Knowledge representation, reasoning, navigate, finding the shortest path or finding the optimized path from one point to another point. So we are using one AI application every day, that is Google Map, which is an example of navigation. Then natural language processing, many of you at least might have heard about natural language processing applications. So performing language translation, translation from one language to another language, finding the sentiment of a review, that's all is natural language processing. So with what type of data set we are dealing, depending on that, or what type of output is expected, considering these two things, type of data set and what type of output is expected, considering these two, we decide the objective or the area of AI. Again, AI is not limited to these 5 points. There are many other areas also. AI is actually a very vast umbrella, and it is hard to study AI even in years. Okay. So AI is the end objective. What do we mean by end objective? Like building an artificially intelligent system. Okay, it is not necessarily computer. It can be anything. Okay, it can be your mobile or it can be any sensor. Building any artificially intelligent system is the end objective of AI. And machine learning techniques, deep learning techniques, and hardwares are tools to achieve AI. Okay, so if you see, AI is very big very big circle, and some part of hardware, robots, IoT sensors come under artificial intelligence. Some part of machine learning, in fact we can say like majority part of machine learning. This diagram is showing around 30%, but it is more than that. Deep learning, rule-based programming, all these techniques are part of artificial intelligence. So ultimate objective is to obtain artificially intelligent devices. It can be any device, not necessarily computer. Okay. Sunny, please change the slide. This is about data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Now let's talk about the world, why these courses are so important, or why we are giving so much importance to learn these courses. Because the current industry is trying to predict what is not visible. We are trying to extract it, and the thing which is supporting this prediction is the data set. We are having enormous amount of data set, so prediction is possible using machine learning techniques or artificial intelligence technique. So all the industry are working on gaining insight or extracting information which is not visible to us. Yeah. Please change the slide. So manufacturing industry is trying to predict which product to manufacture. Okay, so they are producing already a few products, but they don't know what is the exact reputation or what is the exact demand of the world for their products. Using machine learning techniques, they are able to predict which product is gaining more respect in the society and which product is more demanding. So we should focus on that. Okay, so it is helping them to grow in terms of manufacturing. Okay, which process optimization to be done. Okay, like there are processes which are available, like, but which what kind of optimization can be done to in the overall process of manufacturing. Okay, so this kind of prediction, which is not known to the company, which is not known to the industry, manufacturing industry is using machine learning for that. Okay, another is price prediction, like what should be the best price of the product. That was the third point. Yeah, Cindy, please change. Yeah, I gave you example of agriculture industry already. So agriculture is very important industry in our country because the country depends on the type of crop or the amount of crop we are developing, as well as majority part of our people are working in agriculture. So we are trying to include machine learning to improve the cultivation or to help the farmers. So machine learning can be used to find out which crops to grow in a particular type of soil. What would be the prices of the production? Okay, considering the information about the world, what is the price of other products or of other crop? Then we can decide the price. Depending on the season also, price might vary. What process to follow? Again, there are processes, traditional processes, but which one is going to help the cultivation, or which one is going to improve the cultivation? That process can be predicted by machine learning. So I'm giving you these are few examples where machine learning can be applied. But again, this thing is open. You can think about more problem statements. In fact, if I ask you right now, what can be the other problem statements in any particular area like agriculture or manufacturing, you might come up with more problem statements. So that is also very important to think about the problem statements. Knowing machine learning is not enough. You won't be able to apply it anywhere until you understand what can be the problem statement, real life problem statement, which can be solved by machine learning techniques. Machine learning techniques are fixed, although they are growing. We are getting new and new algorithms every day, but where they can be applied, that is also very important thing to think over. Okay, so even if you are learning techniques, every time think about this, where this particular technique can be applied, what can be the problem statement in my industry. Okay, so that is also equally important thing to consider. Please change the slide. Yeah, next is healthcare industry. They are trying to predict the disease based on symptoms, which drugs are more effective, how can a pandemic be stopped, because recently we have faced a lot of difficulties because of this unknown scenario. We were not aware, so we were not prepared. So if we can predict something, and we can predict and we can stop it, so how machine learning can be used to stop pandemic, which operating procedure is most effective. Okay, so if we are having more procedures in healthcare sectors, then which one is more effective, predict that. So these are again limited problem statements. There can be many other problem statements. Yeah, Sunny, please. Yeah. So every industry we have seen, healthcare, manufacturing, agriculture, they are trying to predict, and it is not limited. There are other, in fact, educational industry, they are trying to use automated grading system where instructor doesn't have to get involved in grading. In fact, automatic question paper generation system where instructor, because now we are having like lot many people to teach, and so both are ready. Learners are ready to learn and teacher is ready to teach, but teachers are limited. They cannot do the evaluation or setting up the question paper for the entire batch or for a big number of people. So if we can include automated systems which can take over the task where instructor doesn't have to get involved directly with the students. Okay, so teaching is not avoidable. Teaching has to be done by the instructor. There should be face-to-face interaction, but this process, evaluation process or question paper generation, can be avoided. So these are part of natural language processing where we are having language data again. So education industry is using machine learning techniques, and there are many other industries. Sandeep,
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Raksha.
Thank you.
Wonderful. There is a compliment by some of the learners saying that it's the best presentation by Professor Raksha. Wonderful. Great. Great. All right. So from this point onwards, it'll be done by Tharun. And Tharun, you want to present your screen, or how do you want to do?
Yeah, sure. I will share my screen. Thank you. I hope the screen is visible to you.
Yes, yes. You can click on slideshow and yeah. Perfect.
Right. So thank you, Professor Raksha, for giving a brief intro to the topics of machine learning and how AI and machine learning are related, and how data science is a all-encompassing field. It includes everything AI, ML, and all statistical methods and everything. So thank you very much. So now I'll be taking up some of the applications where ML and AI can be applied in the real world tasks. So these contain some of the very recent case studies, which are outlined in the literature quite obviously nowadays. So what I would like to start is with something which is very known to all of us in these days, which is GPT-4 and ChatGPT. So what are these GPT-4 and ChatGPT? It's not quite unknown to us, but these are basically the language models which have been developed by the AI researchers at OpenAI, which is a startup. Now it's a big company. So we have been asked a question in the quiz also related to this today. So what is ChatGPT and what is GPT-4? So I will be a little technical here. So when we say these ChatGPT or GPT-4, they are basically the machine learning models. If I just pronounce this ChatGPT, it is nothing but Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So what are transformer models? So transformers are advanced versions of recurrent neural networks which carry the attention or self-attention module within themselves. So when I say GPT-4 and ChatGPT, so GPT-4 is an advanced version of ChatGPT. It's the fourth upgrade, or what you could say the enhanced version of GPT. So these models are trained on huge databases, the very big data sets, which is mined by these big companies from the web, and they deploy these as free services initially, and then they capitalize on it. So these models are actually using machine learning techniques. If I be very specific, these are known as deep learning techniques. So they belong to a class of machine learning techniques which employ neural networks. So these kind of approaches are known as deep learning approaches. So they are useful to generate human-like text. For example, if I want to ask a question and get an answer. So if I ask this question to a counselor or my teacher, so I would expect a human-like answer. So, but if the same answer I want to ask some bot or some source of learning which can generate a human-like experience to me. So that's very, very good. So deep learning techniques are used here to generate human-like experience or human-like text responses, which fall in the context of ChatGPT. So these techniques actually have made a lot of significance in these days, because you see that everybody, I recently heard in my own institute where people, even students are using ChatGPT to answer exams. So, and also people are using ChatGPT to write research papers. So, but of course there are limitations. So we have seen in the quiz initially, which Shyam has organized, where we have seen how ChatGPT also can make mistakes. But still, these are some of the bugs, and deep learning has taken ChatGPT to a very large extent. So this is another problem I would like to highlight here, where ChatGPT has played a major role. And this is also one of the project where my project students are working here in IIT Roorkee. So it's based on designing a mental health system using ChatGPT. So if suppose I have some negative thoughts within me, which comes across situations. So I would like to either discuss with someone who is known to me, or at worst, I will go to a counselor and take a session. So this process is not possible for everyone in the current society. So therefore, chatbots have come up which can act like human-like counselors, where they can try to address the queries of the subjects. Of course, this is not a replacement for a human counselor, but still this provides some early responses which can stop from adverse situations. So ChatGPT has been used in such occasions where several personalized responses. This is something you have to appreciate, the learning which has happened in the ChatGPT model, where personalized responses are given based on the user input. So it's the same question a different user is inputting. You can see that ChatGPT answers in a different way. So please try that and check for yourself. And also you can see that it is very, very useful even for mental health professionals, so that they can use it in the instances where they are on leave or they are in a very different situations. So these are also some of the other applications of ChatGPT. So people are using it to answer some of these exams. So it says that it has cracked Google coding interview and the bar exam, which is the law exam, and United States medical licensing exam, and the business exam at Wharton School of Business. So these are only some of the instances where ChatGPT was used, and it was used to successfully answer the questions provided in these exams. So not only in competitive exams, but it has also spread its clash to the scientific research. So in scientific research, we are supposed to generate novel ideas, novel research outputs, so which are scientific. So GPT-4 is also used in that setting to generate novel ideas for accelerating scientific discoveries. So this is another contribution of GPT-4, which is again based on AI and ML, which are fundamental principles, which we'll be learning in this course. And also we have this multimodal learning. Have you ever imagined sometimes using Google search and feeling that the search is very limited? So sometimes, like if you want to ask certain questions to Google, it remains very difficult to write it down as a text. And you may also want to keep an image alongside text. So these all can be addressed with ChatGPT. So it's a multimodal framework where you can give as input a text, an image or video, and get a correlation between those information. For example, I'll just give you an example. For example, I have cracked an examination today, and I want to know if I can crack an examination related to this tomorrow. So, and I have some experience of cracking my current examination. So many a times we cannot generate this as a text input to Google. Sometimes we need image information also, and sometimes audio information as well. So this is where we are currently lacking in the search engine. So where ChatGPT has some potential advantages. And also, when we want to automate certain tasks where a human intervention is minimal, for example, in customer service, many a times questions are quite standard, and a human intervention is needed in sometimes very, very minor settings. So there, ChatGPT can also answer those personalized responses with improved customer satisfaction. So let me just move ahead in this discussion. So this is also one of the example where actually we can see how the AI assistants have contributed to the daily user ergonomics. So for example, if I have a user who want to book an online reservation or make an online purchase, so sometimes we want that comfort where we can speak and then the machine books for us. So this comfort is usually required, because when we interact with our humans, so we something and the other human responds in a way which is like human. So we want our machines also to respond in a humane manner. So that motivates us to perform some of these minor actions which a normal human being can do even by a machine. So this is one example where Google has deployed duplex AI assistants on the web. So what is that which is unique in this is that, so Google has deployed a audio to text conversion and then applied some AI approach using recurrent neural networks to decide what will be the next user action. So what the user wants, what does he want to book or make an online reservation. So this is an AI assistant, just like Alexa or Siri, which we use in iPhones and Amazon. So it's a similar application, but recently it was deprecated by Google due to some reasons, which of course have a different context to explain. So this is another application. So assume that you are eating somewhere or you want to order something to have a breakfast or lunch or dinner. So many a time we are wondering how the time or the amount of time it takes to the person to reach us and deliver our order. So this is something which is very much unpredictable, and many a times this information is not provided at very punctual manner. So there is one app which most of you have come across, maybe Uber Eats. So Uber has this service where they employ machine learning algorithms to decode the delivery time, the amount of time a person will take to deliver a particular menu from a particular kitchen or hotel to a particular area where the customer is staying. So this uses machine learning algorithms. So how does it use machine learning algorithms? So for example, if in the same area a day ago or an hour ago, so the same hotel has delivered an order in a certain instant of time, and one day before or 1 week before on the same day, at what rate it has delivered. So this historical information will be used to give you a real-time value of delivery time. So, and then also optimizing the route of delivery, which will give you the shortest time in delivery. So this is known as a traveling salesman problem. If many of you are studied it in your algorithms and data structures course, so this may not need much elaboration. So another application. So if you have imagined watching movie in Netflix, so the OTT. So basically you have a smart TV and Netflix. So on a mobile phone where you watch. So you see that the TV on which you watch is based on a broadband network. While if you are watching the same on a mobile phone or through an OTT Netflix, so there is a cellular network which is being deployed. So many a times the network does not function properly. It has a lot of instability related to a broadband fixed network. So it's always very prudent for these specific devices to deploy some information which they can store on the server, and they can ensure coordination between network and the device. So this is where network data storage and network data history storage can help effective view of video streams. So sometimes the network can fluctuate. Suppose you're in a car and you come across a divider or a stream, a tunnel. So then you're forced to cut down your network. And then the device has to learn from the previous samples of streams, and it has to give you a smooth experience of video when you are watching the video, even when you are moving in a tunnel. So this is where AI algorithms will come into picture, right? And this is one of the very, very valuable example where music can be generated using neural networks. So this is again a very wonderful discovery by the OpenAI company, which has actually deployed ChatGPT and all these other applications. So Jukebox is a music generation system, which is also an AI system. Again, it's a deep learning system. So as I mentioned that within AI, you have the classes of machine learning and deep learning. So this is a deep learning system, which is based on neural networks. So here actually it cuts chunks of music and then reconstructs the music, and you can play the music at different noise levels, and it upsamples the music also. So this is also a little more technical. So basically it's also an application of ChatGPT or the models of transformers. So this model, which is known as multitask unified model, this is developed by Google. So this is actually a milestone for understanding multimodal information in Google search. So that's what I was telling. If you see this picture here, so if you want to ask a question, suppose today I have hiked, say Mount Tibet, and I want to know if I can hike Mount Everest in the coming week. So is it possible or not? If I want to ask such questions, so a simple text information may not be useful. The questions can be as complex as possible, which require sometimes multimodal information. So this is where this multitask unified model comes into picture, which employs ChatGPT, advanced transformers models, which are T5, what you call, which is also a class of deep learning model. And this model had shown that it's almost like 10,000 times more powerful than the traditional BERT model. You can see here in the text that this BERT transformer is a very, very preliminary transformer, which has been improved a lot. And now we have seen this multimodal or multitask unified model. So which is again the close to the state of art performance. So again, just to add to this, so there's a language barrier also. Suppose I want to ask my question in a different language and get response in a different language, or I want to ask about this hiking Mount Tibet, and then I want to search through the Google search even in Tibetan. So that's where actually this model works. So it also encompasses the language barrier as well as the modality barrier. So these are some more examples which fall close to my own research in that sense. So this is a DeepMind AI for detection of eye diseases. So this is also another open source application which is developed by DeepMind. So it's a subsidiary of Google, a team of researchers who are well qualified. So they developed an AI system which can actually scan your retinal images and give you early signs of eye disease. So this is very important in these days, So approaching a doctor and sitting in the line and queue, and sometimes it takes a lot of time. So where actually these kind of applications will help you to do a pre-screening. So this is where I just want to extend this in this slide. So there is another application where you can do a medical imaging with AI. So suppose you want to detect tumor within a patient. So you need to mine a lot of images or MRI scans, and you want to sometimes assist the clinicians, because many times humans make an error. You can see that it's very difficult given the time of a clinician to handle so many patients and detect tumors so precisely from the MRI scans. So this is where an assistant system can be developed using artificial intelligence. So this is a research project which has been taken by Microsoft, which is used for medical analysis, and then this is very much in place. So another very good example which is close to my heart is that where the sportsmen, so the sportsmen actually suffer from concussion problem. Concussion is somewhere where there's a traumatic injuries in the sports, the sports subjects. So where we can actually deploy the AI algorithms to predict or detect the concussion for long-term consequences. So this is very, very new application of AI. So this is where I'm talking about the wearable sensors here. It's not very complicated hardware systems, but wearables where you can wear like a cap or you can wear like your spectacles. So which are very, very fragile and easy to wear without a lot of discomfort. So Sandeep, are you there? Maybe you can take over here.
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
So stop my share.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. All right. Let me share my screen and then get started. Okay. Wonderful. So thank you, Professor Tharun. It was really, really insightful. There are lots of questions that are pending from people, and this was very informative. And what you learned so far is that that what every industry is trying to do is trying to predict something in some way, right? Whether it's a hardware industry, software industry, and so on. And if you think carefully, what does it take for a machine to learn, right? It takes data and it takes training and so on. So I want to walk you through a typical workflow. There have been multiple questions that how does data engineering comes into play? Okay. If you even think about, say, ChatGPT, there have been lots of data gathering steps that we do not know. Okay. So a lot of work, a lot of hard work goes in preparing the data sets. And there are lots of interesting engineering that has happened. So I want all of you to pay attention to this part, right? Now, the first part of any machine learning system design, okay, and why I talk about this part, because industry has been doing a lot of work in doing the data engineering aspects of it and the feature engineering and the machine learning engineering parts of it, and we call it MLops. So, and the MLops branch of machine learning has become like de facto, and in industry there are lots and lots of new things that have come up. So this is something that is very, very unique about this course, that we will focus more on how industry works. Okay, so usually what we do is the first step is to gather data. Whatever web application you build, whatever software you build, you need to gather data. Now, there could be sensors, there could be IoT devices that can help you transfer, and they can help you move the data. But where to store such a humongous data? Such data is usually stored in NoSQL databases, such as MongoDB, HBase. And when the data is, let's say data is very well structured, you might want to store it in relational databases. But again, there the bandwidth could be, the relational databases are basically single computer and so on. So it might become difficulty. And that's where the NoSQL databases come into play. So you store the data using these data engineering techniques in HBase, HDFS. And in simple words, you might say, I would use cloud for this. But at cloud, people's tendency is to have their own cluster on the cloud, maybe on AWS, maybe on GCP, and store the data there. Okay. When you have petabytes of data, then these standard databases do not work. So the first step is to understand where to store data. The other part that goes missing, and many people, many engineers do not get an idea, is Kafka. Kafka is a way to build a queue in which lots of people can produce. Like if you have a big organization and you have thousands of services, when we say services, these are like smaller programs running on different computers, and they are all producing data. So these all programs, whether IoT devices or whether your web servers or web services, they all produce data to Kafka. And from Kafka, we read it and put it somewhere, right? Put it in HDFS, put it in HBase, put it in MongoDB, put it in Cassandra, put it in on cloud-based systems and so on. And after you have gathered the data, the next very important aspect, after you have gathered the data, the next very important aspect is, how do you clean the data? How do you have got, imagine that you have a website, and when whatever happens on a website, you put it in a file. And that file is called the web server log or web log, or sometimes just log. And this log needs to be cleaned up. And if you're joining somewhere after this course or in the mid of the course, the first thing that you probably will be working is figure out something cool from the logs we have. So the logs could be coming from all kinds of services again, and so on. So you take the logs, you take the organizational data, put it in NoSQL or put it in HDFS file system, put it at some place via a Kafka queue and so on. Once your data is there, once your data is either in file formats or it's in relational formats, structured, unstructured, what you do is you apply data cleaning on top of it. Sometimes when your data is in petabytes, normal Informatica kind of tool, usually you will hear this term very often called ETL, extract, transform, and load. Loading the data from unstructured places such as a file into a tabular format, which is called relational or which is called structured. So we translate the raw data into something that is tabular format. And you can do that either using, say, Informatica. I mean, just giving an example, there's a Microsoft ETL. There are hundreds of ETL tools. Okay, but these were great for small data. If your data is in, say, megabytes, these standard tools are all okay. But the moment your data starts going beyond gigabytes, then these standard tools do not really scale well. You need new genre of tools. And this is where MapReduce, Spark, or let's say processing on a MongoDB or processing on a Cassandra, and all of these techniques, the MapReduce of MongoDB, aggregation of MongoDB, Cassandra's, the MapReduce techniques. All these techniques will work when the data grows bigger than few gigabytes. And this is a large chunk of the work that you will be doing in your organization. And now here, very important aspect that you might miss. Okay, so usually what people usually do is they take the raw data, and store it something called a feature store. Here is the feature store. Okay, feature store. And feature stores are nothing but, imagine that you are working in an organization where there's a user. Imagine that you are a user of Amazon, and every user would have the purchase history, loyalty, and what's the frequency of visiting various pages, and so on. So you have lots of characteristics of the user, right? And these users will basically, there'll be billions of users, and these characteristics of the users have to be computed, extracted. So we will essentially keep on building something called a feature store. Feature store. Okay, this is where we store the features of all the objects, all the things in your organization. And then again, after basic analysis, using tools like Hive, sometimes people use R, sometimes people use other techniques, right? Using all those techniques, we keep on updating the feature store. Okay, as we clean the data, we come up with the entities, we come up with all kind of behavioral things, like this person is, have purchased 100 times. This person has purchased very frequently in last this. So we keep on coming up these interesting features about our objects and keep on keeping it at the central place, right? So that tomorrow people can use machine learning on the feature store or structured data. So there are lots of new things that have come up. And now there are many feature store. You should take a look at things if you are practitioner, if you are working. So one of the feature store people use is, say, Feast, and there are three more. You can take a look. And so essentially, there's a lot of innovation in the feature store and this pipeline that is happening right now. Okay. Now, after doing the basic analysis can be done with tools like Hive, Spark SQL. If your data is very big, if your data is small, you can use R, you can use, say, normal Python, you can use like Python pandas and other things if your data is smaller. And if your data is big, you might need a big data tool such as Hive, Spark SQL, and so on. Okay. Now, once you have done the basic analysis, once you're done with the basic analysis, you move on to a little complex analysis. And this complex analysis happens using the ML algorithms, right? You could be using the Spark machine learning tool. If your data is very big, you will use Spark MLlib. If the requirement of processing is about processing a graph of users, say you are Facebook and you have, let's say, this person is a friend of this one, and this person is a friend of this one, and you want to do some sort of like distance computation and other kind of graph computations. In those cases, GraphX kind of tool or graph querying tool is very important. And if you are just applying standard machine learning, then you could use scikit-learn or R, or you could just use, say, TensorFlow at this point of time and so on. So once you have done the basic analysis, cleaned up data, you have prepared the feature vectors, then is the time to apply the machine learning models. What is a machine learning model? A way to learn from the data And with this learning, we can reapply in the production time. And once you have done that, you might want to further go ahead on board with more and more machine learning techniques. And you could go ahead with TensorFlow, regression algorithms, and so on. You might want to fine-tune your models. Okay, so usually there are different roles that in the company that like people do. This part, up to this part, probably most of the data engineers do. This is also data analysts do, up to this data analysts do. And this part, machine learning engineers do. And this is, again, machine learning scientists do. And once you have done that, once you have built a model and you're happy with it, you might want to move to prod. Move to prod means you build a model. Now we want to put it on a website so that we can predict the user behavior. You can do other things. And for moving to prod, you might have to deploy your model like a web service so that people can call it. It can do the magic and so on, right? So for that, you might have to learn how to create a RESTful API. How do you build? You might have to build your Android app, or you also will have to learn a bit of DevOps. Okay, so what I want to scribble here is that this part that you see comes under MLops and DevOps, and this part is machine learning, and this part is data analytics, and this part is data engineering. Okay, the more you can do, the better it is. If you know data engineering and machine learning, then you can do everything. Okay, so my suggestion is this course is designed such that you can cater to the entire flow, right? Because this entire thing is extremely important. So we will have more classes, some of the classes focused on how do you deploy a model. There'll be classes on machine learning, the one that Raksha and Professor Raksha and Professor Tharun is going to take. Is going to be more around machine learning. And what we are going to do is take care of, like at CloudxLab, we'll take care of the data engineering parts of it. And yeah, so this is the entire flow, and I wanted to keep this extremely clear that this entire thing is MLops or machine learning, ML engineering. You will hear this term very often, ML engineering. And as of now, like the company where I work and even all the people who are working, every software engineer is supposed to be acquainted with all these tools. Okay, supposed to be acquainted when you grow from, let's say you are a junior engineer and you want to become like a senior engineer, you're expected to know machine learning, or you are expected to know at least this part. Okay, these two parts, you'll be expected to know this and this. Okay, and then when you want to become like a SD3, a senior engineer, that time you need to know all the three things. Okay, so I would, with this, I would open for the questions, and I'll take up the questions now. Please feel free to put the questions in the Q&A, and I would like to explain. All right. So one of the questions from Mohammed is, what's the difference between data science and data analytics? I hope that's clear. Data science is like whole bucket. Data analytics is a part of it, which is more to do with the analysis of data. Given a data set, give me all the records which are bigger than this, lesser than this. Okay, so data analyst role is typically querying the data either using SQL or using R, using pandas, using all simpler tools, sometimes Python. So you need to be aware of Python and SQL, as well as basics of statistics you should know. Okay, if you are planning for data analytics. Data science is extremely big bucket. Earlier, there used to be data scientist as a hot topic, but the reality is that data scientist is a big topic, right? The entire flow that I talked about, this diagram that you see, right? The data scientist is supposed to know everything. Therefore, you will not see data scientists to be very common top title right now because it has been heavily abused and everybody has their own definition. The kind of title that you'll see more often is ML engineer, right? ML engineering, machine learning engineer who knows machine learning, who knows software engineering. Then you'll see data engineer, right? People who know about how to deal with NoSQLs, how to deal with storing data, how do you deal with processing data, doing their map reduce and other things. And then you will see DevOps roles. DevOps roles are basically how do you deploy things, any service and so on. And then you will see MLops roles. Okay. MLops roles is people who know basics of machine learning and know DevOps together. And then third thing that you will see is, third thing you'll see very often is, data analyst. Okay. So I hope that makes sense to you. Great questions. And a question from Sumit is, data science is going to evolve in next 10 years through machine learning and AI. So what job opportunities will be basic computer engineer? So I think, see, everything is a computer engineering or a software engineering for that matter. Therefore, the software engineering is just going to evolve rather than learning Fortran or learning Fox Pro. You will be learning these new techniques, like how do you build a service? How do you deploy it? How do you clean data? How do you do the basics of machine learning? How do you deploy a machine learning model? So those job descriptions will evolve. In your experience in software engineering in past, that experience will be some way used in the current roles. I hope my voice is coming through fine. Wonderful question. Okay, great. Wonderful. Please feel free to ask any question. I would love to answer. Okay. It seems that the feedback form is not working, so please just check. Okay. Can you just try to see from anonymous account? Now, a question from, all right. A question from Sejal is, also, do we need to know Python as well before starting this course? Good question. So, yes. So we have almost every course, almost every topic in our LMS. I would say that start with the Python, Linux, and those courses. Just make sure you're comfortable with Python because this course is hands-on. It's not only theory. So we will be working hard on bring code and making sure that you learn it. Therefore, Python is needed for the remaining courses. Therefore, in the beginning days, we will focus on the fundamental tools. So I would expect everybody to start working on these fundamental tools like Linux, Python. We have provided all the courses, all the exercises, courses in our LMS, which is automatically evaluated. So you should give it a shot, and it is probably the best thing that you will the best thing at CloudxLab. You're going to definitely enjoy the courses that we the self-paced courses on the basic tools such as Linux. So it forces you to think. It forces you to do things. Okay. So I think, yes, I would say Python is needed, but you don't have to go elsewhere. We have prepared all the questions and exercises. A question from Aditya is that for data engineers, for data engineering, do we really need real field data analysis, or we can just go with the data available to us? See, there are lots of data sets available as of now, whether it's a log file, whether it's the actual data. So if you just search, and even at CloudxLab, we have uploaded lots of data stores and data sets at CloudxLab. You can just use those. If you go to my lab and there is a notes out there, say telling you about all the data sets available at CloudxLab. So there's all kinds of data sets available, and we will be using those data sets. And as a matter of fact, whether it's scikit-learn or TensorFlow or R, everything comes up with their own data sets. Okay. A question from Smriti is who to contact in case of lab-related queries for a prompt reply. So you can just drop a message to reach us, or just scroll down in the exercise section. There's a comment section. So the moment you put your question there, somebody from my team would answer that. All right. So a question from Madan is, can we train ChatGPT to decrypt malware rather than getting suggestions? A good question. So yes, it seems like ChatGPT is the cure for almost every problem. It's not. Okay. As of now, it takes in the language and the human consumable data, human generated content such as image, video, or text, and it produces text. Okay, so it is very tempting to use ChatGPT for every use case, but I think a better thing would be to learn about machine learning. And there's something called, embedding, right? So you take a text, either you ask ChatGPT to generate an answer, or you ask a large language model to convert this text into a bunch of numbers. And these numbers represent the meaning of that text. And once you have the meaning of the text and other things, then you can utilize it. All right. So in many cases, like, for example, you are trying to detect, trying to figure out whether this particular traffic is coming from, this particular traffic in the network, is it a spam, or is it a denial of service, or is it real traffic? So all of that, you should know how to do that using other models as well, and so on. So I would say that yes, for many use cases, you can use ChatGPT. But after ChatGPT, when you get these bunch of numbers representing, like when you are using embedding in large language models, there you will need the real machine learning work. Okay. And as a matter of fact, it is a function of the kind of problem that you're trying to solve. Okay. Of course, lots of ideas will mostly come in the ChatGPT phase. But if you know about machine learning, if you know how to build a model, deploy a model, you will get even better ideas. Imagine that you are building a spam filter today. Okay. One way is the knee-jerk reaction is you give it an email and you send the email to OpenAI, and OpenAI tells, okay, whether this is spam or not a spam. But it's going to be not that great. But on the other hand, if you convert an email into a bunch of numbers and you have a model trained on this, that given this bunch of numbers, which is the meaning of the email, we call that word sentence embedding, you can quickly predict whether it's a spam or not a spam. Okay, I hope I made sense. All right. A question from Sejal is, the material in this course is sufficient to start. Yes, of course, this is more than sufficient. I can guarantee if you just finish that Python course, that'll be more than enough for the course itself. And yes, there's nothing to worry on that. Okay, for machine learning, for deep learning, that amount of Python is sufficient. Okay. All right. A question from Korean is that whether this program will be available next year. I can't say. I can't say. This is very much a function of IIT Roorkee. If they are planning to start another course, we'll have another course. But right now, I can't say. We'll try to keep this course alive. We have kept this delivery of the course for last 4 or 5 years. And yeah, so I mean, it would be live by CloudxLab, at least, if not from IIT Roorkee. But yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be alive, but I can't say much. A question is, can you give insight into 5G technology and how it'll evolve AI and ML? I don't know. I'm not an expert at 5G, so I would leave that to experts. Thank you, Atul, for that question. A question from Noble is whether AI is going to replace us in next few years. No, it's not. AI, machine learning, it's just a tool. And I mean, it's just a tool. If you do not learn it, then those who learn it will replace you. It's not the AI who will replace you. Okay. I mean, when like Alan Turing was building computers, there were massive strikes saying that these computers will replace us. Okay. When there was the Industrial Revolution, there were strikes saying, oh, these things are. But no, these things did not replace people. It became the opposite. After the computers came in, more and more jobs are there in the computer side. Similar is here. It's only those who are left behind, those who are still thinking that, okay, whether machine learning is something good or not, those are the ones that are going to left behind. Okay. All right. A question is whether AI is going to replace data scientists in few years. Not really. Not really. If you see, like the way the companies have evolved, if you look at most of the companies, right? I mean, it's a misconception that people are not using machine learning. Almost every team today, like a reasonable amount of size team and technology teams, they are using machine learning and AI in their own ways. They are not able to build models because great engineers are not available. But those who have good machine learning engineers, they're building their models. They're using AI in conjunction with their internal models, and they're taking the advantage of both worlds. Okay. So yeah, so it's not going to replace data scientists or anything. The things keep changing, the definitions keep changing, new jobs keep coming. So if you're not learning, you will get replaced. As simple as that. A question from Rishabh is, in your flow diagram, where data science will be, so the entire thing is called data science in some way. Or if you are just specific, I would call like everything as data science except for taking it to production and generating data. This side could be IoT/big data, data engineering, and this side could be DevOps. Okay. All right. A question is, can you do this course online outside of India? Yeah, if you are living outside of India, you can just join this course. And in case this time is not suitable to you, the videos will be uploaded within 12 hours of finishing the class. And you can attend videos. Many people actually do that. people who are living in Australia, people who are living in the other parts of the world. They like even in Japan, people, because it becomes too late for them. So they usually just watch the videos. Okay, so yeah, you can take the course if you're outside. People who are in the US and nearby territory, like even in Europe and so on, for them the timing is all good, so you should not have much of a problem. A question from Mohit is okay. All right. Question from Mohit is, does every topic taught in this curriculum start from scratch or any prior coding knowledge is required? So whatever is needed in the course, it is available at CloudxLab. So even if you are fairly new to the entire world of machine learning, but you will be comfortable, I can guarantee. In case you are uncomfortable, you feel that, okay, I don't know this, feel free to reach out to us, right? We would make sure that your experience or you should not at any point of time feel that, okay, this is something very new to you. Okay. If you just gradually go from top to bottom in this course, you should not feel that way. Okay. Yeah, a question from Korean is, I asked, so there was a previous question from Korean is that, is the AI replacing data scientists, right? In addition to that, the reason he has asked the question is because many MNCs are replacing data scientists with data analysts and engineers as they are cheaper in terms of salary. And so, yes, data scientist was actually very abused job description, right? There was people with 3 lakh salary to 1 crore salary in the roles of data scientists. So it became kind of catch-all kind of title. Therefore, people are actually avoiding it. Okay. And yeah, so I think that one person does it all. I mean, one person knowing it all is needed, but one person does it all doesn't actually scale up. Okay. The other thing is that it was very difficult. So most of the companies, what they did was they took the data engineers, they took software engineers and then trained them in machine learning. So they are much more better in terms of productivity. When you think about it, that people with the background in software, they understand like what is basics of machine learning, and then they know how to deploy it. So they are much more productive. So it's important to know both sides. A question from Sumit is, please explain data science in relationship with cloud data storage as well. Okay. So pay attention here. So this could be your cloud, right? So what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but computer at somebody else's place, right? So using all the services, you could be putting the data in cloud, and the cloud could be, say you are using BigQuery, for example, right? You're using in Google or AWS. So they all also provide similar tools for their storages. Okay. But my suggestion I always would be that instead of using the tools that are very specific to a cloud vendor, use an open source tool or some tool where there is no vendor lock-in. Okay. That's why we have chosen all these tools at CloudxLab, keeping in mind that there should not be a vendor lock-in, whether it's DevOps, whether it's for data storage, whether it's for everything else. People prefer the open source tools. Okay, so I hope you got the picture. So here as well, all these things, all the philosophies are the same. Okay. And yeah, even with the cloud data storage. Even if you're using cloud storage of Google, you will have BigQuery. You can put all of that. You can train your models using BigQuery, and your knowledge of machine learning would come in use. Also, please keep in mind that this course is not only a course on TensorFlow or scikit-learn. They are just tools. This course is about understanding machine learning fundamentals as well. And those machine learning fundamentals are common to all machine learning libraries. Okay, so the core idea is to understand the fundamental principles of how do you do distributed computing, how do you do machine learning, how do you do the deep learning, and so on. Okay, and of course, you can, once you know what are these fundamental sciences, you will know where to apply those. Okay, using which tools, whichever tools you pick, the fundamentals of machine learning remain the same. Here we are picking scikit-learn and TensorFlow because those are the most popular ones. And if you want to do something like PyTorch or something like using R, the philosophy and fundamentals remain the same. Okay, a question is, how is the job market for AI and ML? Have companies adapted to a level that they can employ so many people in AI and ML? Good question. Good question. So what companies are looking as of now is they're looking for software engineers who also know machine learning. They're looking for DevOps engineers who also know machine learning. So essentially, from their perspective, what they're looking for is ML engineer or MLops engineer. So those kind of roles are more prominent and public. All right. Okay. Is it possible to replace us with data analysts and engineers as they are cheaper in terms of salary? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Focus on learning things. And trust me, nobody can replace you. If you are capable, if you know this stuff, nobody is going to replace you, because I'm seeing your messages that X is replacing me, Y is replacing me, this and that. Don't worry about it. What is needed is people with the knowledge, people who can do things and have knowledge. And once you have that, you basically would not have a problem, right? Like I'm seeing, even in the midst of all the companies firing and so on, they still are retaining those employees who are hands-on, who are knowledgeable in software engineering and machine learning, and who have an understanding of data science. Okay, so my honest thing is that do not. There's no point of arguing. There's no point of justifying that whether X will replace Y or not. I can only tell you that in future, the way I'm seeing it, that knowing machine learning has become a key. Whether you're going for program management, product management, you're going for a software engineering position, you're going for data scientist position, data analyst position, storyteller, XYZ. If you do not have an understanding of what is machine learning, various terms, how does it work, and so on, I mean, most likely you will be dropped in the interview process itself. Okay. And trust me, even for product managers and program managers. Okay. So yeah. So let's focus more on learning. Don't worry. Once you know things, nobody can replace you. Okay. A question is, what are the companies that the students get hired in and the packages? There's so many companies. You should take a look at LinkedIn, find lots of people who have studied at CloudxLab. They're doing pretty well. They're pretty well. And yes, with respect to students, I would strongly say that get very hands-on experience with building things, be the software engineer and know machine learning, and that is something that people are looking for. Okay. And yes, I don't have the data on packages, but you can take a look at indeed.com, you can take a look at naukri.com, as well as LinkedIn. and maybe Glassdoor. All right. A question from Nobel is, which option should I choose, data science or data or analyst? I would say that take a look at this course. Whatever is there in this course, whether you study with us, you go elsewhere, right? But this course that we have designed is something that is fundamental and something that is practical, okay? So don't focus on the title. Titles are very fluid and titles are random. Don't focus on that. Focus on learning substance. Then once you know once you have gone through the syllabus that we are in this course, you will know that, okay, I am data analyst, as well as I'm data scientist, as well as I'm machine learning engineer, and so on. And that confidence is something that changes you, okay? A question from Virendra is, what will be procedure to address our query related to code and AI logic after online sessions? So there will be my team. If you have doubt, that my team will reply. Okay. Okay. All right. There are a couple of more questions. I'll go. A question is, will we be working on Scala in this course? It is up to you, but we have both the data engineering part of the course is in both languages, Python as well as Scala. So if you are passionate about Scala, you can take a Scala one, but we will be focusing more on the Python course. Okay. I mean, PySpark course, we call that. All right. I hope I answered your question. I'm looking at the Q&A window. I'm not looking at the chat window. Okay. The question from Nitin is, what will be the timing of the classes for working people? These courses are designed for working people, people who have jobs. That's why they are on Saturday, Sunday, so that it doesn't interfere with your office. Okay. Are Tableau and Power BI part of the program? No, but we have a couple of demos whereby we have, like, for example, in the data engineering session, we have the Power BI demo and Tableau demo, but you feel free to use it. With respect to Power BI and Tableau, my belief is that the moment you start tinkering around the tool, you will know what to do with it. Okay, the most important part is just start tinkering around Power BI or Tableau and you'll be good to go. All right, because it's a visual tool. The only thing that is needed for understanding the Tableau or Power BI is that you should have a good, some understanding of SQL, right? So just go through the SQL chapter, and that should be sufficient to conquer most of these data visualization, BI or data analyst tools. Okay. All right, great questions. A question from Sumit is, will demo be available to us? Demo of these tools, right? The Tableau and Power BI. But you can register with them. They provide demo. You can just go and sign up with them. Okay. A question is, so what about AI engineering, right? So entire thing is there's no such thing called AI engineering. As a matter of fact, we are not teaching AI. We are teaching machine learning. We are teaching the deep learning. We are not teaching AI because AI is like general purpose. Even if I was like using the mainframe system, I could always say, oh, this is AI. Why? Because everything is AI, because AI is an objective, making things behave intelligent, right? That's an objective. So even if I'm writing a if-else condition, I can say, oh, my code is AI. So AI engineering, I would say that if AI engineering means machine learning engineering, we are teaching it. Okay. So most important part is, all right, that understand machine learning, understand deep learning, understand data engineering, and you will have all. Okay. Question from Fars is that in which month we will visit IIT Roorkee. We'll be visiting IIT Roorkee in the last month of the course. Okay, the exact date will be announced by the team. Last month, as in towards the end, where basically it is sort of a convocation. Once you have, like the way we did last time, I'll tell you. So what we did last time was that once the course was finished, the presentations of the project were held in campus. So like all the students came to the campus, stayed in the hostel. The hostel was arranged, and in the hostel, right, we had like everybody, each of the presenters presented their project. Each of the student presented their project, and once their project was final, their certificate were printed, and we gave certificates. The Professor Manhas, Professor Raksha, they distributed the certificate. And then there were campus visits. You could just right. We went and visited the entire campus. So it was a 3 days program last time, and it'll be the same this time as well. Question from Atul is, so the topics that are mentioned under PG certificate course, those will be covered. That's right. That's right. Okay. Any guidance on how there's one question from Pranay. Any guidance on how projects will be made for the final submission? So there are two kinds of projects as part of this course. There are close to 18 projects which are self-paced. The guidance, these are guided projects whereby we tell you how to do things, but you will have to do it. So these 18 projects are guided projects whereby you provided the hints and you have to solve those. And then there is one final project which is unguided, unsolved, and you have to pick the project from outside. Once that project is accepted, then you basically have to solve it, present it, like how did you solve that project? It could be like predicting cancer, it could be predicting lot many things. And I have been always wowed by most of the students in past presentations. And many of these things have become like a research project. Some have built, published those ideas, and some have become the NGO, the non-profit organizations. So projects are important. So everybody has to do the project. Projects are usually done individually, but in the cases when, in very, very exceptional cases, if the project is really big, some students can do it together with others. Okay. The question is, what would happen if I'm not able to get the passing score? So it is mandatory to do the project. Okay. So, but if you don't get the passing score for the course, you will not get the mark sheet, but you'll get the certificate. But if you do not do the project in the end, okay, and you do not have, if you do not finish that project and you do not present, then it would be very difficult to give the certificate. Attendance also matters. Okay. If you are not attending, if you have some medical emergency or urgency, or let's say you are living in another country and you can't attend, do let us know over the email so that we can coordinate with IIT and we can basically make sure that your mandatory attendance is waived off. Okay. Okay, I think there's some certain percentage of attendance that is needed. Okay, a question from Chandru is that, can we use Julia for data science? Yeah, you can use any language and for that matter, but it becomes very discomfortable or uncomfortable if the libraries are not available. there are so many algorithms. Like, for example, you have unsupervised algorithms, supervised, and so on. There are hundreds and hundreds of algorithms out there. If your language, the language that you're using, if it doesn't have those algorithms, it becomes difficult. But the good part is that as of today, companies have moved from being single language companies. They have become like multi-language. How? They have started creating this something called microservices or service, whereby every team hosts their own service and it provides the service to each other. And so one person could be doing in Julia, other person could be doing in Python, other person could be doing in C++, and so on. And they still can talk. These web services can talk to each other and make the magic happen. So the reason why we are not using Julia is because in most of the companies, machine learning is still done using Python. And lots of libraries are available. Everybody does things using Python. With respect to the speed and performance, I agree that Python may not be the fastest, but most of those work are delegated to other frameworks. Like, for example, one chapter we'll have like NumPy, right? NumPy or Pandas. Underlying those tools are built using those libraries of Python are built using C++, which is fairly fast. So these tools are anyway fast. So we don't have to worry too much about the performance, even for the machine learning. So that's the reason why we are using Python. Okay. So yeah, that discussion on the language is something that you should avoid and keep yourself focused on learning things, because everything can be done in every language. It's just that which one has more libraries available, which one is easier to use, and so on. Okay. So we find that Python is like probably most widely used when it comes to machine learning and data engineering and other parts like building services, as well as Python is quick to learn. So I think it's win-win for everyone, and it's also in demand on a large scale. Okay, and once you are comfortable with all these ideas of machine learning, you will yourself realize that you can just build the same thing using some other framework or language. Okay, so nothing to worry. It's not a make or break situation. Question is, any open source dataset cloud factory for project work you suggest? There's so many of them. There's so many. You just Google it. Okay, just Google it. Okay. Question from Smriti is that will getting an individual guidance to the project be possible? Of course. Of course, we usually do that with as part of our students. Okay. A question from Karthik is, do we need to come to IIT Roorkee for presenting final project, or we can do that online also? See, if you are an international student or if you have medical emergency, in those cases, you can do it online. All right. But everybody will be there in that conference room, including professors, including us, including students. So you'll have to present online. There was only 2 cases in the last course whereby they presented online, because one was in UAE, another was in some other country. So they wanted to do it remote. Okay. Wonderful. I hope this session was useful to all, and any other questions you have, I can answer that now.
I guess, Sandeep, there are no more questions. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
yeah.
see.
If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah.
And otherwise, Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Professor Tharun. Thank you, Professor Raksha.
All right.
And Professor Manhas. And thank you everyone for joining. And we hope it's been great and it's been helpful. And then our team will reach out to you. And then you can reach out to us if you have any more questions. And we will be in touch with you immediately after this with regard to the certificate of participation and other things. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Yeah.